Lionfish Extermination Corporation, boom, on an incredible dive. I didn't get this guy very well. You can see he's really messing some stuff up there, just kicking around. And I decided to just drop that bad boy and get a good grasp on this guy. He's about 14 inches. He's not that big, but I didn't get him right in the head, so he's very lively. And I tried to put him in like this, and I have a new funnel, so there wasn't much room. It was really difficult to push him in. It just would not happen with the way I shot him. So I decided to go ahead and throw him down and take care of him, brain him, if you will. So you put them out of their misery with this knife, and you just basically pierce the skull and put them down. You see the spines coming towards my hand. They're trying their best to protect themselves. Now, that's a gorgeous fish. These are awesome fish, but in order to save the millions upon millions of other fish they're going to eat in the next years to come of their life, we need to go ahead and put them down and eat them, use them for primary source of food here in Florida rather than using other fish. All fish have to be killed in order to be eaten, so this is no exception. And they're covered in venomous spines. You have to be very, 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 very careful. That's where I keep my spare knife on the scooter there as a little backup. Now he's easy to be shoved in the container. He's no longer suffering or anything like that. We definitely don't want these creatures to go through any more than they have to. They're just very dangerous, and the reason why we have to kill them, of course, as most of my viewers know, is because they are extremely invasive and they will kill everything with no predators to stop them. I was super excited. I got to see a leucistic nurse shark, so it's lacking pigment. As you can see, it's very light. In contrast, you can see what they look like when they're not, and they're significantly darker. It's quite a bit of a different look. I mean, that's shockingly different in this particular circumstance. They come in kind of a variety of shades of color, but that guy was definitely super light, and that's pretty darn rare to see that. Boom! Just missed him. Tried again. Boom. We rarely miss them altogether. Now, this is really cool. Look at the base of this barrel sponge. All three of these barrel sponges are growing from one big, boom, barrel sponge. It's so crazy. Normally, you see them on their own, where it's just a single barrel sponge, but it was so neat how the growth kind of led them all together. It's normally just like this. It's just a single barrel sponge like that. Boom! And it's just neat to see that. It almost looks like a mushroom growth or something like that, where it just kind of carries out over and spreads out. This cute little burrfish, we saw a couple of them today. Super duper cute. This guy's resting. Boom! They use their little tiny fins to just basically lightly rest over top of the barrel sponge. And I actually shoved him down and got a little stuck in there, so I had to work him back out. There we go. Try not to hurt the barrel sponge. They're pretty hardy, but we don't want to sit there and beat them up too much. We want to be really careful. A lot of times I'll actually move. Look at this. Oh my gosh. I could barely fit him in the container. That new funnel is super tight. This spot usually has some lionfish, but as you can see, there's nothing underneath this cave. But I went back and I looked over the top, and there was a barrel sponge. See how it's right over top of that cave? He was just resting once again in the barrel sponge. I tried to not hit the barrel sponge, but then I missed the shot. So he's going underneath here, and I was able to turn upside down and boom, get him. So these invasive critters are, meeting their match today. We're definitely doing a good job. We've already hit this spot a bunch of times, and it's getting down to the point to where there's not that terribly many. Look at how clear the water was. You can see all the way to the surface easily. It was a gorgeous day. Look at those cool shapes. I often think of these barrel sponges, butterfly fish, as kind of like trees. When you see the trees along the road, especially the big pine trees and fir trees, you see them kind of growing towards the wind or with the wind. And see how all these barrel sponges are all kind of moving towards me. They're all open to the north. And that's because the current tends to make them kind of grow in one direction. So the stronger the current there is in a particular circumstance or situation or area, leads them to kind of grow towards that direction. So it's kind of neat how you can see the currents playing a role. And then sometimes the currents are going the opposite direction, so that little bit of growth will go back the other way, and it creates this really cool texture and pattern on these barrel sponges. And the sponges are just really good for the environment because they filter out all kinds of different planktonic organisms and they eat the little bits and pieces in there and then filter out all the clean air. So they're essentially an organism made of all kinds of cells. Look at this cute little sock puppet. He's so bashful. Aww. The green moray eel. We have a few different types of moray eels here. We also have a sharp-tail eel, which is really cool. Boom! The sharp-tail eel is a cute little guy who just scavenge along little holes in the bottom of the seafloor looking for food. And they have little spots and they're gray. They're really cute. And then we actually have, in the shallower areas, usually in the intercoastal, we'll have chain morays. And they have more of a blunt tooth, whereas this moray, this green moray, has very sharp teeth. His teeth are used for eating different types of things like fish, like this guy. This is a beautiful juvenile filefish. He's so cute. He was only like 4 inches long, and these guys can get to be, well over a foot long, maybe even 16, 17 inches long. I think I've seen him over 20 inches. So, whoa, that guy got a little spooked. But look at the pretty yellow on this angelfish. This is a blue angelfish, but if you looked at it, you'd think it was probably yellow. Should probably rename that to a yellow angelfish. With such striking colors of the yellow, then you look at this guy over here, and look at how dull it is. That's a typical blue angelfish. And this is a queen angelfish. Super duper cute. And a couple of white-spotted filefish hanging out. They're usually all in groups. They live together as a mated pair. Isn't that cool? So pretty. One of them usually has the spots and one doesn't at a time, it seems. That guy just got stoned. See how light colored he's turning? He's being patchy and his color's breaking up. That's how you know you really nailed him. Boom. Little tiny guy. Perfect shot right through the head. Dead immediately. That's the way I like to do it. But, people say, why don't you just capture these individually and then, sell them to fish tanks or, people as pets. Look at these awesome jacks. They're just cruising along, checking out the reef. Now, to catch them without shooting them with a spear takes a long time. It's very time consuming. Look at that beautiful cowfish, little trunkfish. It's just very time consuming. So you're only gonna catch a few fish, and if you sell them to someone, they still have to kill a whole bunch of things to survive. So you're not saving any fish. They're really pretty, but there's just no room for you to save every single one. And it would take so much longer. We can kill 20 times as much fish by shooting them than by, just simply giving them to someone for their fish tank. And I'm about out of time. Time to go up. So that's kind of why we do that. There's just no room to sit there and pretend like, they're not a problem. They really are a problem, and we need to remove them as much as possible. And to do that, we need to shoot them. So they're eaten, they're our food. So I wouldn't worry about that, guys. That's our new zookeeper. Later, guys. I appreciate you.